All right, so this video is all about making changes and when we should make changes. Now, first and foremost, if you do decide to make a change outside of the caloric intake that we recommend and also the macro pattern that we recommend, a 40-40-20 split, we need to know these changes. Run the changes by us first because then we will actually be able to have a better eye as to if you really need to change or not. And this is what I mean by it. And this is how little complicated it gets, but we want to make sure first and foremost that there's certain protocol that we like to follow. But when you're analyzing your stuff, don't go by net calories, okay? Net calories are basically something in which it's subtracting your exercise from your caloric intake. Do not go by net. Go by your actual calories. I don't like to record my video. I don't like to record my exercise in there because sometimes that'll give people an excuse not to, an excuse to eat more, okay? So when you're looking at it, first and foremost is that you're not going to hit your caloric intake every single time, okay? What I mean by that is for me to be at 2,300 calories every single time, it'll be really, really hard unless I really, really plan it out, which is good, which I will plan it out a lot. But when it comes down to it, I always like to keep a range. And the range that I like to keep is 100 above and 100 below, 100 calories above or below, okay? That's basically a serving. And when we're looking at that, is that notice what I did here on the last 7 days. Last 7 days, you'll see this was, I think, on Sunday, ate a little bit more than what I should have. I should have stopped at about 24. This one looks all right. You can see these guys are a little bit under. I probably should have had a little bit more of what I needed. And then this one's just about right where I need it. The worst thing that you want to look at, and you'll notice on my 30-day split, is that all my lines are pretty close, with maybe exceptions of these guys here on low days or some of these high days. You want to make sure that these guys are kind of like at this trend right here, okay? Let me see here. And you want to make sure that it's kind of like this trend right here. See how it's not going so high and it's not going so low. It's not that. But when it comes down to something where it dips down and then it comes back up and then it dips down again and then comes back up, that's something that we do not want, okay? So you want to make sure when you're analyzing your calories, it's a nice up and down, really close to that red line, none of these really highs and lows, okay? All right, so that'll be that. When it comes, and that's going to be looking at, see the mouse here, need the mouse. And then we look at your carbs, it'll be the same thing. You want to make sure that it's about 10 to 20 grams above or below the line. And it'll be the same aspect when it comes down with your fat intake. And it'll be the same aspect when it comes down to your protein intake as well too, okay? And that's where we want to look at it, is that we want to make sure that it's a nice broad spectrum, okay? And it's close to that red line. As you can tell, I focus a lot more on my protein content as opposed to like my carbohydrate content. You see it's a little bit more highs and lows, and then your fat content. But what you're going to notice is that, and I'll be full admit to this, these high days are on weekend days. So those are trends, and you got to look and judge your behaviors on the weekends and stuff like that as well too. So keep that in mind when you are when you're looking at these stats. And that's what's really nice, is because you could kind of really figure out where your behaviors are at, and the numbers will tell you where your behaviors are at. And I know that these are weekend, and I eat more carbs on the weekends than I do during the week. So I need to watch my behaviors during the weekends in order for my progress to get better. Okay. So that's how you would analyze these results, and that's how I want you to analyze it. If you think that you're eating wrong for the plan, let us know. But first and foremost, you got to be compliant on this plan first. Be compliant on this plan first, then we could change the plan, okay? We do not move forward until you're compliant on this plan first, okay? So remember, the first thing is you have to be compliant. Then the second thing is then we could change it up, all right? And that is how to look and analyze your results.